morning, everybody. Good morning. Thank you all for coming. I can't tell you how happy I am to be here to celebrate with all of you the first affordable housing, multifamily housing in the town of Southampton. You know, in like very few words, we just said so much. I mean, we've been working on this since probably 2012, and it's been a wild ride. And I want to congratulate the Town of Southampton Housing Authority on all of their help and all of their hard work to get here. I remember the first time I visited the site was with Barbara Fair, and she said to me while we were here to make sure that we keep that tree, and the other one, and we did. So I find that like every development is sort of, it has its own storyline. It has its own theme. And this particular project has had quite an exciting storyline. A little bit of a thriller, more than I would have liked. But this morning I thought about it, and it really was Mission Impossible. And a lot of sequels, a lot of cliffhangers. Hashtag Article 78, right back to it. It's beyond commons. But in any really good movie, right, there's really three attributes to it. And the first is courage. And there was so much courage that took place to get these projects done. The people that are sitting up here with us, the local elected officials, it is really hard in the face of adversity to stand up and to do the right thing. And the people standing here today did it, and thank you to all of you, and congratulations. So also in a good movie, we've got hard work. And there is a couple of people here that really went above and beyond the call of duty, who worked so hard to see these projects come to fruition. The town of Southampton, you have an incredible team here. The town planning department, Kyle Collins, Janice Shear, the work and the effort that went in to work with our architects on the, I mean, I could probably line wallpaper with the amount of iterations of the design of these buildings. That building was red once. Okay. But there was also other people that worked really hard with our team. We had Dave Gilmartin, who stood by us, Diana Weir, the town engineering department, Christine Fetton and Tom, thank you guys for all of your help and hard work. The building department, Lisa Tyson with the Long Island Progressive Coalition. So we also had a lot of help and hard work from our funders. This project wouldn't be here today without Governor Cuomo and Ruth Ann Visnaskis, New York State Homes and Community Renewal, their staff, their hard work. Steve Ballone, your staff and administration, first dollars into the project. Thank you. But like in any good project, we have Daryl Seavey here from Raymond James. I think we have TD Bank here. And while everyone else was courageous and taking risks, the investment that came from Raymond James and TD Bank was probably the smartest move you ever made. Affordable housing, investing it in the Hamptons. There you go. But it also takes a lot of luck, right? In any good movie, you have luck. And I was lucky to work with all of you, and I thank you all. So these projects, 28 units here, Sandy Hollow Cove, first affordable housing across from the Shinnecock Canal. Spion Commons, 38 units, first transit-oriented development, mixed-use property, amazing. And it wasn't always just about these two projects. Yesterday, I'm sitting with Matt Ardito, principal at GGV, at that table over there, and he said to me, Dave, I really hope that these 28 units and the 38 units at Spionk go build thousands of affordable housing units across the United States. And that to me was something that I was so proud to hear from him, my partner, and just something that we hope is going to exemplify here what can be done when everyone works together. Thank you. There's Matt. So last weekend, I showed up to help prepare for the ribbon cutting. I had just gone for a long run. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt. Normally I'm in jeans and a t-shirt. I was in shorts and a t-shirt, and I'm walking the property, and I'm down in building 3, and there's 3 women standing by the door, and they are moving in. And it was her daughter that was moving in, and they were happy, perhaps elated, and I walked over to introduce myself, and I said, "Hi, how are you? I just want to say hello. Are you moving in today?" And her daughter had said, "Are you moving in?" And I said, "No." And she says, "Oh, do you work here?" I said, "Kinda." And she said, "Like, let me walk you in," and we started talking about the project and how happy she was and how happy her mother was to have an opportunity to live in the town of Southampton. She's a paralegal, her mother's a nurse, work hard, and now they have an opportunity to stay in the town. And to me, that was mission accomplished. So, would you like to come up and say a few words? You're good, okay. So, that's all for my remarks. I do want to now invite up our Commissioner, Ruth Ann, New York State Homes and Community Renewal.
Thank you, Dave, and good morning, everyone. I am delighted to be out here, and I am delighted to be, as David said, joined by so many local elected officials who support projects like this. It is not everywhere we go that people welcome affordable housing with open arms, and it is so critical and so needed in this town that it is really, the pleasure is really ours to be able to have funded a project that is the first multifamily, non-age restricted rental in the town of Southampton. So I thank so it's great. So I thank the county executive and the town supervisor and all the other legislators who put in so many hours, and also to Dave Gallo. We are really fortunate at New York State Homes and Community Renewal to have partners like Dave, who is doing projects in Riverhead, who is doing projects in East Hampton, who is doing projects in communities that have not benefited from affordable housing. And Dave, you've really put in an incredible amount of blood, sweat, and tears to get these many projects done, and we are really fortunate for that. I would also thank the Housing Authority for being a tremendous partner in this. These projects are incredibly complex between the land use approvals, the financing structures, the community engagement that goes on to get them done. So it never takes one singular person to get these done. So we're thankful for all our partners and also for the staff at HCR. I always get to stand up and take all the credit for the work that folks in my office like Pauline Friday and Ira Jones-Chimney and Jay Baker and Maria Kalides and people on my team who work very hard to get these projects done. So I am thankful for them. So just a few quick remarks. As you can see, it takes a lot of work by people both in the public and private sector to get us to a place where we can celebrate a homecoming like this. And as you can see, the people who will be able to call Sandy Hollow home, it's really an effort that is worthwhile. Communities like Southampton thrive and become more vibrant when the people who work here, the teachers, the firefighters, the nurses, the future young leaders, can afford to live here as well. The people who work hard to make Southampton a wonderful community should not be priced out by high rents and by long commutes. With Sandy Hollow and its sister complex Beyond Commons, we're creating a more inclusive community in Southampton by providing high quality and sustainable homes that are friendly both to the environment as well as to the budgets of working families. Moreover, we're connecting residents to vibrant downtowns and to the type of services that help sustain long-term economic growth and reduce unnecessary hardships on local workforces. And that's what affordable housing is all about. And it's what we see here in Southampton and what's getting replicated in Suffolk County and across the state. It's part of the governor's commitment to affordable housing. It's part of our $20 billion, 5-year, 100,000 unit affordable housing plan that we are about halfway through and are on time and on budget. Since 2011, the governor has invested more than $180 million in housing in Suffolk County, which has created or preserved housing for more than 5,000 residents. And while some people might look at Sandy Hollow Cove and see, sometimes we call them developments, and we call them complexes, and we call them probably lots of things, Dave, under your breath when they're in the middle of a in the middle of a closing. But the most important thing that we call this development is home. I can be more happy today to say welcome home to all the residents who get to live here. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruth Ann. County Executive, Steve Bellone.
Thank you very much. Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here. This is such a great day for all of us in Suffolk County and certainly here in the town of Southampton. And I want to first and foremost thank our commissioner for the great work she's doing in the partnership. Thank you to our governor, Andrew Cuomo, for the leadership, because none of this is possible without that leadership from the top, and we truly appreciate it. To my colleague, Supervisor Jay Schneiderman, for his great leadership. We've partnered on many things together, and all the members of the town board for the work that you do. Really great things happening here. And to my colleague on the legislature, this is you'll hear from her, a great day for her, because this is something that she worked on as a town board member and as a legislator. And, we are here obviously financially supporting a project like this because it makes sense not only for the town of Southampton, but for our region, because this is what we need to be doing. But we wouldn't be here without, Legislator Fleming really pushing and fighting for this and talking about how important this project was. And she was there from the beginning. So thank you, Legislator. I want to, of course, congratulate Southampton Housing Authority. Curtis Highsmith, thank you. Great job you guys do at the Housing Authority. This is a groundbreaking development here, and I know it's a sign of what is ahead. I also just want to recognize a moment former county legislator Jim Morgo. Sometimes people forget he was a legislator. He tries to forget sometimes. But talk about the pioneer in our region on this issue that we're talking about here in 2019. Jim was talking about in the 1980s and maybe before that, but that's as far back as I can remember. But he's done a terrific job, and I thank him and people like Diana Weir and Lisa Tyson and all of the community activists here. Thank you for the work that you've done. So I'm not going to speak long. I want to thank our team, Natalie Wright, our acting commissioner, Jason Smagan, director of real estate, who works very closely with people like Dave Gallo. I noticed when I came inside that there were Tate's cookies that you can take when you go in there, which you only get in Southampton ribbon cutting ceremonies. But I just want to say a thank you to Dave Gallo, because at the heart of this, he talked about Mission Impossible. This is Ethan Hunt right here. There's nobody you'd want in a Mission Impossible scenario like this than Dave Gallo. He knows how to make it happen, and we're really proud to partner with developers like him who are doing the right thing, and environmentally, socially, every way. Economically, that we need to support our region. So congratulations, Dave, and congratulations to everyone as part of this project.
Bridget? Yeah. Yes.
Okay, sorry. By the way, you can get Tate's cookies in China now. They're everywhere. They were born here. Thank you, excuse me. Thank you, County Executive Bellone, for your kind words. That's very nice of you, and I'm so glad to be here. It's true, this is one of the great sources of pride in my local political career. And I want to reiterate the thanks to these grinning people I see from the Southampton Town Planning Department, the Law Department, the Housing Authority. I heard Christine Fenton might be here from the Town Engineers Department. These folks have been on the ground pushing, Janice Shearer pushing for this for many, many years. And I have to say, one of the reasons why it is so exciting to be here, this is 26 units, and we have thousands and thousands of units worth of need. So it feels almost, or it could feel almost like it's really just a drop in the bucket relative to the challenge. But in fact, this is the first housing community renewals project in the town of Southampton. This is the first rental affordable housing east of the Shinnecock Canal in the town of Southampton. This is the first time someone who is as skilled as Dave Gallo and his team at Georgica Green Ventures put together the financing plan that made this possible. It's not easy to talk when your papers are flying around. Thank you. It's not easy to put together affordable housing projects on the east end of Long Island, even though the need here is almost greater than it is anywhere else. It's getting very, very difficult for our local young families to stay here and work here and make the economy the vital economy we need to continue to thrive through the centuries as we have for centuries before. And so to be able to put this magic combination together and to secure the political will to do it is a real thing of beauty. And it's not just for today. It's going to happen again in Spionk Commons. It's happening in Gansett Meadows in East Hampton. And it will happen again and again. The fear-based resistance that we on the town board sat through, hours and hours, lawsuits, getting yelled at, getting called names in the newspaper, all those challenges that, as Dave pointed out, requires a little bit of courage to get past. Those challenges were based on fear, and this project answers those fears. This is a beautiful project. And so because of that, it's going to be able to set the tone to make it easier. My friends that are now on the town board, Councilman Lofsted, Councilman Bouvier, Councilman Scivone, Councilwoman, sorry, and Jay Schneiderman, of course, have the opportunity to continue to look at these projects. Spionk was a unanimous vote. It was a vote that happened fairly quickly relative to the things that we went through on this one, and so that's what's going to happen. When we see these projects are great, we're going to see more and more of the difficulties being overcome, and more of those young families are going to be able to stay here, eat Tate cookies, make new Tate's Cookies companies, you know, because Kathleen, and I'll get off here, but Kathleen King started that company on her father's farm stand not far up the road here. She was a young girl. She baked the cookies. She put them out at her dad's farm stand. Tate is his nickname. That's why it's called Tate's, after she survived a lawsuit. But at any rate, we all know. But at any rate, the fact of the matter is, if folks who are local and young and ambitious and care about their community are able to put down roots here, we will be richer and stronger and be able to continue our great history here on the east end of Long Island. So I'm deeply grateful to Governor Cuomo, to the Commissioner, for the things that you make possible on this front. Certainly Jason Smegan and the folks in the county who carried this across the finish line as well. And I'm just so pleased to have had the opportunity to be one of the ones who stood up and said, yes, in my backyard, we are building beautiful, affordable housing. Thank you all.
Thank you, Bridget. Said everything I wanted to say, but better. You know, one of the things that we had as a company was that we didn't want to let people like Bridget down. No, seriously. Like, we recognized that people were taking a significant risk in supporting this project. And it's nice to come here today and have everyone feel really happy about it. But there was certainly, from our perspective, a sense that people are trusting us and we cannot not deliver. So, on that note, Town Supervisor, Jay Schneiderman.
Thank you, Dave. Congratulations. First, and I guess I'll be echoing some of the things that have been said, but certainly for Ruth Ann, who said, welcome home, to those 28 individuals and families who will be calling Sandy Hollow Cove home, and to the 38 at Spionk Commons, welcome home. It's a I got a chance to walk the grounds. This is beautiful. I mean, if you haven't gone into any of the rooms yet, go in. There's one right here, a handicapped accessible room. It's right around the bend here. Go see it. This is really quality craftsmanship, quality materials, everything from the manufactured stone counters, beautiful tile bathrooms, the laminate flooring. It's amazing. And I walked down to that barn. It looks like a Hamptons barn. It could be a very expensive Hamptons home. And the beautiful barn doors on each unit. And to be able to walk in, I met somebody there who is calling this home, who now lives here. It's really remarkable. And I do think that, as Legislator Fleming said, now that we have this, we kind of can debunk the myth about affordable housing. People get scared when you mention affordable housing. They imagine the worst. Now we have something real that you can touch, you can come here and you can see, and you go, wow, oh, that's what we're opposing, right? That's what we're all upset about. See, this is great. This is actually about 11 units an acre. And does it feel overcrowded? No, I say not at all. It's beautiful, and it's got sewage treatment, so we're taking care of the nitrogen. It's a real tremendous success story. I want to acknowledge my colleagues on the town board, Councilman Lofstad, Councilman Bouvier, Councilman Schiavone. But in truth, in Spion Commons, yes, that came before our board, and this was before a prior board, and I do see Jen Garvey here, who's representing Anna Throne-Holtz, a former supervisor. And when this was proposed, it certainly was controversial. And that board, including then Councilwoman Bridget Fleming, they suffered the slings and arrows of this. And they stood together. They stood up because they knew we had to do something. It's hard, particularly east of the Shinnecock Canal, to deliver affordable housing. You start with land that is just so expensive. And zoning that, on a big piece of land, maybe you could do one housing unit. So then you have to bring in the density to make it work. And you have to navigate an incredible maze of bringing in various subsidies. We had just an incredible partner in Dave Gallo. I mean, it's dizzying, all the regulatory steps and all the funding steps. And I don't think there are very many people who could get through it, and he dances his way through it, I mean, elegantly. Dave Gallo is incredible at bringing the community together, to taking the time, meeting with people, like sitting down, at kitchen tables and discussing with people who are opposed and trying to get them to understand the need and explain what it's going to be like. This would not be happening if we didn't have a great developer. So David Gallo, another round of applause. So let me say this. If you work in the town of Southampton and you want to live in the town of Southampton, you shouldn't have to win the lottery, right? Whether it's the Mega Millions or the Southampton Housing Lottery. We've got to find pathways for our workforce to live here. It's our community. It's our community, and it's getting harder and harder, and we see all the impacts when, our nurses can't live here, our social workers can't live here, town employees can't live here. We see it whether it's in people living in substandard conditions, we see it on the roads. We have to do more. We have to do more. And we are developing, I think, a community consensus that is going to do more. I mean, we did pass affordable housing legislation unanimously that allows homes now to put in accessory apartments. That is a big deal. We're working with Diana Ware in our housing office. This is not going to be the last of the housing developments. It's going to be one of the first. We're going to keep doing more, and we have to. We have to. If we want to retain a sense of community, the soul of the community, then we've got to find a way for our workforce to live here. So I feel that the tide is turning, that we're getting more buy-in from the community, and it's from brave people who stand up. The YIMBYs of the world, the Yes in My Backyard, who are saying, no, we need this. We need this. I see, Lisa Tyson from the Progressive Coalition is here. I remember when she was out here trying to convince this community that this is the right thing. Fighters like Bonnie Michelle Cannon, who works with the community in so many different ways. And of course, all the people from inside the town, the planning department, who also took the time to sat through the meetings, Kyle Kylands and Janice Shearer, who are here. I know Hillary Clinton said it takes a village. In this case, it takes a community. It took a full community to come together, to stand up, to fight the lawsuits, to fight the NIMBYism, and say, this has to happen. This has to happen, and they made it happen. So congratulations to everyone, and particularly the people who call this home. Welcome home. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor. Now I would like to call up Glenn Lund, CPC. There he is. Sorry.
Thanks very much, Dave, and thanks for letting me take a few minutes this morning to, talk about this great project. In an effort to not have my my notes blow away on me, I tried to be tech savvy and put them on my phone. I just hope my arms are long enough to read them. So bear with me. Again, my name's Glenn Lundy. I'm a vice president with Community Preservation Corporation, and CPC was founded in 1974 in the direct response to the issues of abandonment and blight plaguing New York City's neighborhood at the time. As a nonprofit affordable housing and community revitalization company, we believe that stable housing opportunities are central to transforming underserved neighborhoods into thriving, vibrant places to live. And that's what we're here to celebrate today. Sandy Hollow Cove will play a key role here in Southampton, and it will be a catalyst and an anchor for the community. And its new affordable housing apartments will also help to preserve the neighborhood's affordability, giving longtime residents and hardworking New Yorkers the ability to stay and continue to be part of the community. We are fortunate to have such extraordinary partners like Dave Gallo and the rest of the team at Georgia Green, New York State Homes and Community Renewal, the town of Southampton, Suffolk County, and just so many others that have already been mentioned, and we'll certainly thank them for their efforts. When you look at this building and take a minute to listen to the stories that were here today and talk about its mission and the greater purpose it will serve, it's obvious that the people involved in this project really too care about affordable housing. And obviously, certainly Legislator Fleming, that was very passionate and certainly made me feel good about coming down here as well. And so they certainly care about the future of Southampton's. Projects like this certainly do matter to the communities, and they play a huge role in how they'll grow and prosper. And they really set the tone for what the people, their leaders, and the stakeholders expect, and what it demands when it comes to development in their community. I'm certainly proud that CPC was able to be a part of this group effort, and have worked with the others to help make a difference here. Thank you all very much, and enjoy the rest of your day.
I apologize. I was remiss in not recognizing the regional representative for our Attorney General, Tish James, who, projects like this aren't possible without the support of the Attorney General's office. And I know the Attorney General herself is a great advocate for affordable housing throughout the state. So we thank her. And TJ, thank you for being here.
The Attorney General's office was actually a very important aspect to the funding, which we don't traditionally see in affordable housing, but thankful to them and helping us get over the finish line. It was extremely important. So last but not least, Curtis Highsmith, Southampton Housing Authority.
I can finally exhale. They say with every journey, there's a story and then there's a testimony. It would take us months, maybe years, to talk about every story, every testimony, and everyone's experience. I'm elated and overwhelmed right now and filled up. There's so many people to thank, and they go over my head to try to go through each and every one of them. I would fail, and I apologize, but there are people who stood out. Bridget, thank you. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your liaison. Thank you for constantly supporting. I appreciate it so much. Because of you, we were able to do more than we've ever been able to do. To the planning department, who always opened their doors for us. We had monthly meetings on Fridays talking about opportunity and possibilities and out-of-the-box experiences, and we never thought that they would come to fruition, but they always had the imagination to do so, and they worked tirelessly to ensure that not only did we have a great project, but it would be a legacy to Southampton Town. So they deserve a round of applause. To all the elected officials, Malone from the state, and HCR, I want to say you took a chance, you took a risk on us. We understand and recognize how difficult these projects are to come to fruition. When we were delayed, you said, no problem, we'll extend it. When we had challenges, you said, no problem, we want this done. When we had a scheduled day to ribbon cut, you said, no, I want to be here. So let's push it back a little further, because that's how important it is. That speaks volume for how important this, not only this development is, but how important it is for the East End of Long Island to see workforce affordable housing so that our children are not priced out of the market. So my son, who is 23 years old and has a job, and his own son, and he's looking for a place, you know something, it amazes me that we're doing all this. He can never be in any of the units we develop or build because it would be conflict of interest. I'm looking for others to do this as well. I hope this becomes infectious and everyone can grab a hold of it, because when we get here and we see that it's not Armageddon, it's not an oxymoron, it's possible, but it's going to take each and every one of us to come together and work tirelessly to ensure it gets done. To my board, Bonnie, you have been traveling a long time at this. You have been called names, you have been pushed aside, you have been ignored. You asked for me to be in this position 10 years ago, and they said no. You kept going and you kept believing in me, and I'm going to tell you right now, I openly say I appreciate you, I respect you, I love you, and because of you and because of your fire, this is the effects. Barbara, in the beginning, you were hard, and you said something to me that to this day, I never forgot. You said, I was hard on you because I wanted you to prove yourself. And then at a point where you pivoted, you said, you arrived. I appreciate you. I appreciate your knowledge. I appreciate your willingness to work. I appreciate the time you spent on this board. And I'm going to close with, I've had the opportunity to actually speak to some of the tenants. I was here when some of them leased up, and I watched them come out of the units in tears, saying they thought this was they had won the lottery. That some said nothing's ever happened like this ever in their lives before. This is emotions. This is family. This is something more than just housing. This is bringing appreciation and a sense of pride into people who didn't have an opportunity and would never have had one had we not stepped out on faith. So I thank each of you, and for the most, this young man here, who's like a brother. We have cried together. We have never had an argument. Believe it or not, we have never had an argument. But one time when I said, Dave, they don't know you. You have to step out. And that's the only disagreement we ever had. But he came forward and he sat at every table. He met with every person. He sat with every council person. He made sure that before he left the table, not that you understood it all, but you had an understanding to a degree where you were more comfortable to move forward. And not everyone accepted it, but at least they respected it. So, Dave, I respect you. I respect the work you do. I respect the hard work that you put into it. And thank you for all your hard work. To God be the glory for the things he has done.
Thank you, Curtis.
Wow. I could say a lot, but I'm not going to say a lot. I just thank God for what He has allowed to happen today. Isn't it beautiful? It's beautiful. What was all the fuss about? It is beautiful. And I just wanted to thank everyone that was involved, because it took all of us coming together to make this happen. Each and every person played a part, and without that person, it wouldn't have happened. So even if you just signed an approval, you are a part of what made this happen today. And I want to just say thank you to everyone. Thank you. I don't want to start calling names because I'll forget somebody. But everybody here played a part. I want to thank the community. And, you know, I said that all I wanted to see was the 2 affordable housing units. I wanted to put the shovel in the ground, and I wanted to cut the ribbon. And so my work has been done. You know, my work has been done. It's, you know, sometimes it's time to pass the mantle on and go into other things. So I'm just glad that this has happened, and I was here, and I was here. God allowed me to be here to see it today. I know that this is just the beginning. The work that Diana and Curtis and everyone else is doing, is like it's caught on now. It's caught on now. So it's just going to be, as someone has said, infectious, and it's just going to spread. So this is just the beginning of something that's going to be wonderful. I thank God, and I thank you. Thank you.
All right, just before we conclude and actually cut the ribbon, there was someone who was not mentioned, Kara Bach from the Town Attorney's Office. Thank you. A lot of documents. Thank you. All right, that concludes everything. Thank you all for coming. Let's cut some ribbon.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.